Here's everything I made with my 2 loaves of bread this week. I've been wanting to challenge myself to make multiple different meals from one ingredient throughout the week. I've always been obsessed with making my own bread, so it felt natural to be the first challenge. Monday morning, I got started with the dough. I recently bought the book Flour, Water, Salt, Yeast by Ken Forkish. He writes about the fundamentals of artisan bread. I used his Saturday white bread recipe and then just altered the shaping to get a baguette sandwich shape. For me, nothing beats hot bread out the oven. So for meal one, I kept it simple. Chicken lemon soup with a side of buttered and salted fresh bread. I bought a whole chicken so that I could use it in 2 different ways in the week. I broke down the chicken, saving the breast for a Caesar sandwich later in the week. Then I used the legs, wings and carcass for the soup. I wanted to build a chicken broth base and add in the veg later on to save their texture. After the broth had been cooking for a few hours and the bread had proved, I scored the baguettes and popped them into the oven until beautifully golden brown. I finished off the soup by straining out the liquid and shredding the meat from the bones. I added garlic, onion, carrot and rice to my soup, then blitzed some of it up with yogurt and lemon to pour it back in. I added the shredded chicken back in and finished it off with some freshly chopped dill, which brought the whole soup together. On Tuesday, I wanted to do something quick, so I made Tess and mine's favourite pasta with a side of cheesy garlic bread. The pasta is a poor man's version of a carbonara with the addition of garlic and chili. I made a compound butter for the garlic bread with comfy garlic, parsley and pecorino that I lathered onto the bottom half of a baguette and topped with mozzarella. I whacked it into a hot oven to get nice and crispy and finished it with some extra parsley for brightness. The whole meal took me 20 minutes to make and came out really well. On Wednesday, the bread started to become stale, which some might see as a problem but can actually be the exact thing you want, especially for a panzanella salad. I chopped the tomato, shallot and cucumber, then ripped up the slightly stale bread to toast with anchovies and garlic. I tossed it all together with a simple red wine vinegar and olive oil dressing. It was the first time I'd made this, but definitely won't be my last. By Thursday, the bread was fully stale, which means it's perfect for breadcrumbs, so I blended the stale bread with some garlic, thyme and pecorino to fry and coat the chicken fillets that I'd saved from earlier. I couldn't make my own baguettes and not make a sandwich, so I revived my stale bread by rinsing it under water and popping it into a hot oven until it magically becomes as fresh as it was on day one. I built my all-time favourite sandwich, a Caesar salad sub, which was the perfect way to end this challenge.